Hello and welcome to Work to Game. My name is Brian, and in today's guide, we're going to be diving into fast ways to level up in Destiny 2, your weekly content and what you should be doing, as well as frequently asked questions when starting or returning to the game. Now, if you're just like Void Luck Blast here, who hopes to get rich off of arbitrarily hearing me chuckle to myself, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that like button. But if it is annoying, I can respect that, and I do wish you the best of luck. Do not feel like you need to actually subscribe to the channel. So now let's go ahead and talk about how to maximize your effort and your XP while using these few simple tricks and tips that you might not be aware of. Now, every activity in the game is going to reward you XP, opening treasure chests, and more. But XP is the lifeblood of any RPG, and this game is no exception. So let's boost that up and reduce the amount of time that you need to get to where you want to be in the game. So first, let's just go ahead and talk about our general buffs. I have two ghost shells here that I'm going to highlight for you right now. One is through the content of Shadow Keep, so keep that in mind, and the other can be purchased on the store. But whether you purchase this or whether you acquire this by actually buying Shadow Keep and going and talking to Eris Morn, what I want to highlight is the perk Guiding Light. Guiding Light is going to give you an increase of 10% across all activities. You'll see other ghost shells that will actually grant increased XP across a specific activity, like Crucible or Strikes, what have you. Like, there are those and those perks that are out there, so you'll keep that in mind, but you'll have to equip them and unequip them and go from there. What Guiding Light is that it says 10% EXP boost across the board. That's where you can go about that and manage it itself. So that's what I want to highlight for you. Now, how did I get the Kit Boss Shell? The Kit Boss Shell is actually a part of the store, but you don't have to spend money on it. You can use Bright Dust to purchase this. It is expensive, $28.50. Bright Dust is a currency that you can get by doing bounties and playing the game on a weekly lockout. You can see I've got 2138 here on my account because I went ahead and I had more because I've been playing this game, and I went ahead and purchased that because I thought it was definitely well worth it. And the nice thing about this one is it actually drops with random mods that it can have on it. And luckily for me, I ended up, what I would say, got a God roll, and I got the Crucible XP modifier here as well. So I can get even more XP using this shell and playing the Crucible all together. I'm going to go and lock it because it's important to me, and I'm going to keep my hands on it. So now you'll see that it is grayed out because it is only available when I'm actually playing the Crucible. So that's going to tell you what is on and what is off, and I can see that in my tooltip, what is currently on and what is currently off as a part of my Kit Boss Shell. Eris Morn Shell is no different. You can see Guiding Light, Treasure Hunter, and Moon Glimmer Scavenger. So this is really good. If I was, running around on the moon, I can have this equipped, and it's going to help me with Treasure Hunter. It's going to help me with more. So this is going to help detect your treasure chests while on the moon. This is going to give you 10% EXP. And then while on the moon, you're going to be getting more glimmer and glimmer drops on the moon as well. So that is one way that you can go about it. The other way is if you jump into your quest tab by holding select and going into your bounties. You want to pick these up every opportunity that you have. There's weekly and daily bounties, and they cost glimmer to be able to acquire. So a couple things that people, are wondering to know about their bounties is how do you track them? You can see I'm tracking this one. You can press A to track and untrack a specific bounty. This will show up in your HUD if you just press your select or back button to pull that up. How do you turn in bounties? You can see that I've got two here ready to be turned in with that exclamation mark. Pressing A on them, it's going to feed me the XP and any other rewards that are available for them. So that one included helium. So that's a currency in which that you can use to upgrade weapons and more. So that is how that is managed. Why that is important is you saw that XP bar continue to boost up. Doing bounties, timing that and in conjunction with your quests and your weekly content is basically going to be the form of maximizing. You're doing multiple activities all for the sake of it, getting kills both in PvP as well as doing any kind of strike playlist and killing monsters. Like, all that's going to be doing is continually feeding you XP. So the game does a really good balanced job of that. Here's where they're going to ask you for money. So you can see here at rank 16, I'm going to get a 2% additional bonus to my seasonal XP, and there's more bonuses all included, but that's all within the paid tier. If you're a new light player and you're just getting the game, you're going to have access to this free tier, of which there are no free XP boosters as a part of that. The season is $10, and if you actually get Shadow Keep, you do get the first season as a part of that bundle. There are additional seasons, and they have a season pass that will be coming out later. This is all experimental, mind you, so please feel free to voice your feedback to Bungie at bungie.net. That way they can hear you and kind of get an idea of what you are looking for as a player. But keep in mind that as you level, that's just going to get more and more XP that's needed. There are 100 levels here as a part of the season. Now you can see here right now at the time of this recording, we have 63 days left on this season. And so one of the things we're testing here is how viable is this? We're not full-time streamers. We're just normal game players. And ultimately you can see I'm on rank 15 for the season. Am I making enough progress? I ultimately don't know. I hope so. I hope that I'm able to complete this. They have said that later in the year or in the season itself that it's going to get easier. They'll have quote unquote catch-up mechanics, and we don't know if that's going to be them asking for money or more. So stay tuned to the channel for more information on that as we find it. But those are the ways that you can get those bonuses, get those bounties, do those quests, open those chests. By just doing and playing the game, you're going to be giving yourself plenty of experience, but why not make it double? Why not take advantage of those? And you can find all of those bounties at the different vendors on the different locations. So checking out just like the tower, for example, you can go talk to, for Crucible bounties, you go talk to Lord Shaxx. For Vanguard bounties, essentially strikes and more, you talk to Zavala. For Gambit, if you're new to Gambit and you want to check that out, you talk to this guy, the Drifter. He's going to be out there, and you can actually track it and boost right in and be able to talk to him here, or you can boost in here to go talk to those different vendors. Also, there are more vendors, Eris Morn, all different any person you talk to might have bounties for you. So check those out and see how they can stack up with the content that you enjoy. One of the best pieces of advice that I can give you, if you do not like content, a specific thing, if you are not about strikes, if you're not about PvP, don't burn yourself out on doing that. Don't feel pressured to do that. One of the things the season is designed to do is make you feel pressured so that you're going to play more, which is good, and hopefully you're enjoying it. But if you're doing and finding yourself doing things that you're not enjoying, don't do those things. Like, that is the best thing I can tell you. The worst XP you can gain is the most efficient, but the thing that's going to burn you out and eventually have you leave. If you only end up getting level 20 because you're burned out and you don't want to play the game because you're just sick of doing PvP, that's not beneficial XP in my opinion. But I just wanted to talk to you quickly about XP. Let me know if you have any additional tips or questions, comments below, and sound off. And be aware of the arbitrary chuckle that does come along with being a subscriber with the channel. So let's go ahead and talk about our content. So a number of people keep asking, what should I be doing? I'm so confused. I'm so lost. I'm either new or I'm returning, and I get it. It can be overwhelming. So beyond doing the story, which we've talked about, like when you go look at the various moon, when you go look at the different activities, you'll find different symbols, and the symbol on the quest is going to represent what it's a part of. So the Red War, Forsaken, all of those are going to have their special symbol. That's going to be the quest that you can kind of track and follow, but you can still go and check out your quest tab as well. And this is going to give you a way of finding those, tracking those, and seeing what is next for you. You can see I've got a ton of quests that I'm actively tracking and working on, and you can sort these by rarity as well as newest. So there's plenty of things that I need to be working on, and I am. Like, this is the nice thing about pairing this with your bounties and more, is that I'm trying to do multiple things all at the same time, maximizing my XP and maximizing my enjoyment. Thankfully, I enjoy every activity that's in the game currently, which has been a real blessing. So let's talk about our weeklies though. We have our Crucible here, we have Gambit, and we've got Vanguard. Crucible is the PvP, and if you guys want a more detailed PvP guide, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button, and I can sit here, I can work on that for you. I'm an avid PvP player. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm the best PvP player, but I win more than I lose, and I have a ton of fun while doing it. This is going to give you different modes, and if you come in here every week, which the week usually resets on Tuesday, you're going to go find your weekly bonuses. This is going to increase your power. Control and Clash is where I would probably put you into the content first so you can learn it. But if you do have a friend, or you just want to go in by yourself and kind of run around the map, check out your private match options. This is going to give you the best ability to jump over here into game options, pick your game type, pick your map, set all your different settings that you want to do, and then you can jump in and get a good feel for how the game plays. So if you're kind of nervous about jumping in with other people and feeling like you're going to get destroyed, it's never fun to get destroyed, guys. So sometimes it's fun to destroy, but it's never really fun just when you get wrecked over and over again, and that can kind of turn you off. Hopefully we'll see more improvements overall with how online, like shooter games and things like that do to implement ways to get more people playing and more. Anyway, before I go into a tangent on that, let's talk about Gambit. You have Gambit and Gambit Prime, and you also have the ability to do a private match as well, so I really applaud them for that. Take a look at Gambit and Gambit Prime. Gambit itself is round based, so you got to win 2 of the 3 rounds in order to capture it. If it goes into a tie, which will go to the 3rd round, it has a little bit different rules in which you're trying to ultimately kill the primeval. This is PvE content with a mix and with a slight variation of PvP as a part of it. So you can end up going into it and having a good time. You can see here level advantages are enabled as a part of this content. So check a look at your gear score. That's going to make, your power score itself. That's going to help apply here. Where in the 2 PvP things, gear score doesn't matter. Your power level is just normalized for everybody. There is a mode in PvP called Iron Banner. That is a seasonal event that happens a couple of times during a given season that you'll be able to access, and that is where power levels are enabled for a PvP. But here in Prime, the difference is that it's 1 round. It's a little bit different, has a little bit different rule sets, and it also comes with its own specific bounties. Take a look at that, see if it's something you like, because it's also killing Hive, it's also filling out your quest log, it's also doing bounties. Like, all of this stuff is going to feed you so much XP, and hopefully you find something fun in it, as well as it includes its own rank and more. Like, honestly, if you're just like, what do I do? Jump into Gambit or the Crucible. That's where I would direct you first and foremost. The Vanguard is your strike playlist. You can see here that as a part of this, I still have some weekly strikes that I need to do in order to get my powerful gear for the week. Be sure to keep track of these things. Be sure to follow along with these, because the Vanguard strikes are going to allow you to play any strike, whether you've purchased any of the DLC or not. You can only manually kick off specific strikes if needed, but the strikes playlist is going to just feed you into different dungeons over and over again until you want to leave. Where there's a modifier to this is the Nightfall, and the Nightfall itself with also a guided game. This is going to help matchmake you into people who are wanting to play with it. The game has certain content that's match-made and certain content like the Raid and the Nightfall Strike here that are not match-made. They're not going to find you friends to play with. So that's where they also offer you the option for guided games. Check that out and find a way if someone can help Sherpa you through the content. Maybe you can end up making friends. The whole point of this is to help bring the community together and form friendships that hopefully last a lifetime. It's a legit thing that they are wanting to do with the game. And honestly, I've made a lot of friends in this game and more. So beyond that, I wanted to show you those things as a way if you're like stuck on a mission or you're kind of confused where to go. Here's where this kind of gets tricky, right? So one of the things as a part of the Shadow Keep campaign that I'm stuck on is that I need to go do something. I have to actually work on my getting a machine gun in order to get a piece of gear in order to progress the story. So there are definitely MMO elements of grind that are included. So you might hit these arbitrary walls. That's where please use the internet. Please ask us if you get stuck on anything. We're hopefully here to help overall enjoy your improvement of the game itself. But you can see here I am still working on my Black Armory machine gun frame, trying to work into getting my first machine gun so I can progress on a specific quest. So there are those walls there, so just keep that in mind. So with the weekly activities and the fast XP leveling out of the way, I want to dive right now into your questions and comments, because you guys have had some really good questions and I want to try to answer them for you here and now. So WW writes, what if you're a returning Destiny 2 player without the DLC, etc.? Do you still get the new light thing? Will you be boosted to 750? And the answer is yes. Like, new light is essentially a starting point for people to jump in without spending any money as a way from a store, etc. But new light as a concept is permeated through the entire game. All aspects of the sandbox in the game are that. You are already boosted up to 750. Any items that you've had are there and they're waiting for you. You're just going to come in at 750. Now, Chris and I did a video talking about this, whether this was a good thing or a bad thing, and our thoughts on it here on the channel. I'll include a link in the cards and in the description if anybody hasn't seen that yet. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Now, Delta Boy 04 says, I stopped at Warmind. What am I supposed to be doing? I'm hella confused. And so Delta, this is where I would direct you again to those destinations and look for essentially any quest that you want to go and complete. So you want to look for, if you stopped at Warmind, look for the Warmind symbol. That's going to take you on Mars. Warmind is essentially going to be kicking off here. This is where you're going to find those quests. This is where you can do those adventures and get those XP and kind of, I guess, warm yourself back up to that content itself. So that is where I'm going to kind of leave you there, Delta. Beyond just the weekly stuff we've already covered in this video. Hopefully that helps answer your question, and let me know if you still need any more tips. Now, Tyler writes, so should I just skip Forsaken or should I buy Shadow Keep? And Shadow Keep is a great expansion. Forsaken, right now, I say, is an incredible expansion. That's going to take you out to the Tangled Shore. That's going to have you meet Spider. Personally, I've played through it 2.5 or 2.8 times. I'm almost done with my third complete playthrough on my Titan. But ultimately, I would actually probably say you should play Forsaken. It's really, really good content. And if you and then jump into Shadowkeep, but you don't have to do it in that order. Maybe just get Shadowkeep and then come back and check out Forsaken if you're enjoying the game that much. Now, Calvin says, does New Light come with Shadowkeep? And so this kind of ties back into the first question. Yes, so New Light is the core concept of the game itself. Shadowkeep, if you purchase that, you're going to have, all the stuff that comes with New Light and all the DLC for Shadowkeep, but it does not come with Forsaken. So buying Shadowkeep will not get you Forsaken. Buying Forsaken will not get you Shadowkeep. Hopefully that answers your question. Vastroy writes, before the video begins, I just have to say that I'm confused with how the map works, and I just want to run dungeons, but that seems to be limited. And yes, you would be correct. You cannot go and run the Scarlet Keep unless you own Shadowkeep. That's where you're going to want to go do the Vanguard playlist and the Strike playlist. This is where you want to live and breathe. That's all you want to do. First, go to the tower. Go to the tower. Go talk to Zavala right here. Put a little tracker on him. Boost into here. Grab all his bounties. And then just jump into the Vanguard playlist and have a blast. Have fun. It's going to pair you with people, or you can go with the Strike Team of 3. That's going to be where you want to live and breathe. And that's hopefully going to help you advance forward and enjoy the game more. So PK Pinoy writes, I'm kind of confused. As a New Light player, I can see Shadowkeep as a destination. What do I do? What's included with it? What as a New Light player do I do with the Shadowkeep destination? You can jump into the moon. This is going to be something that's really great about it. From here, you can run and find all these different symbols on the map. You can see also these little guys, like the little window of a rainbow. That's a lost sector. They have all these different activities. They have what are called patrols. These are things that you just kick off as little quest missions. And they also have various different public events that you can be doing. You're not limited. Go play on the moon. Go have fun. And if you want to dive more into the moon and to the quests themselves, let us know. Go run the Strike playlist, but if you want to run the Scarlet Keep, as a specific thing to farm, well, then you would have to purchase it. They don't want to cut you and keep you off the moon because you haven't bought the game. I think this is a really fair thing that they've done, but it's also kind of sneaky in a way, right? Because if you do end up enjoying the moon, well, maybe then you're more inclined to buy Shadowkeep, where before maybe you wouldn't, right? So that's kind of how that ends up working as kind of a give and take. So Shadow writes, how can I join the clan? And I'm assuming you mean any clan, but if you want to join our clan, we have a link in the description below for our Discord server, but you can find Work to Game over at over on Bungie.net. You can go find us. You can search us on our Discord. We do have the links, make it a little bit easier. If you're part of the clan, obviously you get clan benefits and perks and things like that. So as the clan levels up, you'll see that we get to unlock more and more more and more things to help each other out. But we're also playing the game with each other, and hopefully that ends up helping. So Stay Hip writes, how do I join the raid? Can someone help? So I would direct you to the guided games side of it. Now you need to have a power level recommended for 950 and at least 930 to be able to do guided games. The raid is going to be the pinnacle content. It's 6 on, the world here. So you got a team of 6. It's not going to matchmake you with anybody stay. So you're going to need to find your own team. The reason they do this is because they make the content where you have to communicate, and they do see that with matchmade content you have to lower the difficulty, otherwise people are just going to leave. And it would be very frustrating if you had 6 people and then you had 5 people and 4 people, and eventually you wouldn't be able to finish it because you didn't have the required team necessary to do so, and that could ultimately feel more frustrating. It is a pain to sit here and say, okay, I need to go find people. How do I find people? Again, link for our Discord below if you need some help, but you also have the guided games option here as well to dive into it and hopefully give you what you're needing to know. So Outdo Blue writes, I used to play on PlayStation and now I've switched to PC and I want to start over, but New Light gave me all the 750 gear. Is there a way that I can go back to the basics and have a low light level? No, there's not. You will be 750, everybody will be. And everything's shifted to this kind of seasonal model. So your level and your gear score isn't really that. It's more arbitrary as a way of just kind of getting you into it. You're not alone though. Other people have stated that. And so Chris and I kind of discussed it on a video just today. So go check that out if you're interested in it. I think it's a really interesting discussion because different games handle this stuff different ways. But everything's really going to be about the season. And so it's about having you jump in and play the content and hopefully have a good time with it so that you keep playing the content. So that's going to be where I leave it with that. I am sorry, there is not a way to do that, but you can go challenge yourself with various heroic missions. There are ways that the game is going to be a challenge for you, and hopefully you find that challenge that you're looking for. That's kind of the model that Luke Smith and the team want. They want you to create an environment in which that you want to be there for something. And that's kind of what it is. Rather than have you feel like you're trying to play catch up and you might not get caught up, this is the new starting point. This is the season. This is the gear. And then at the end of it, it's going to reset, and there's going to be different things like that. So it's going to be like, man, remember the season Undying, or man, remember the next season after that. So keep that in mind, that it's not necessarily about, playing how it was. It's about playing how it is and creating those memories to really drive the point home. So Mr. Trooper writes, can somebody name the exotics that we can get? And yeah, we can actually do that. I'm not going to do that on this video, but if you want to do that, go to your start and then go to your collection page, and you want to see all 132 exotics. You have your weapons, your energies, and your powers, and you can go look at all of them. Now, you can see what each one is, so that way, ultimately, you can go figure out what it is that you're looking for. Same thing applies to armor for the Titan Hunter and Warlock. So if you're looking for something specific, you can do so, but you can also see what you're missing. And that, I think, gives you a really good, gauge on both the collection game as well as, listing them out. So go check them out. Go read them for yourself and see what you want as a part of the whole collection. And this will also help you search what that is to hopefully then go find it, like the specific quest or what is the unlock requirements that you need to do to get. And then Howland Spark writes, are the paint jobs still consumable? And yes, they are. So if you want to go and paint your weapon or armor, you can go press down here and you can find your various different shaders. So if I want the previous, I can hold Y, and you can see what they all look like. Actually, this one's really nice. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And you can see that I just used that shader and now it is no more. I can go and collect these. These are going to be things that drop from the game. So I know a lot of people don't like the consumable nature of shaders. At least you have a preview option, and that's just going to be where it is. I don't see that changing anytime soon. So just do your best, play with it, and find kind of things that look good for you. Ultimately, they did make a change with the mods, and the mod system itself is no longer consumable. So you can go and apply various different mods to different weapons, and that ends up, you unlock these mods, and that helps you overall. And those are no longer consumable. So maybe ultimately one day we'll see the same thing with shaders as they add more content to chase in the game. And then finally, Billy Cross writes, the Iron Banner is also seasonal. It's not really occasional. You just can't jump into it whenever you feel like, and it's not going on right now. And that is correct. So if you go back to the Crucible playlist here, you can see that you have no Iron Banner option. When the Iron Banner comes around, it'll happen a couple of times during the season. What I mean by occasional is that it is occasional. When you look at a season, Iron Banner is going to happen a couple times during this season when it becomes available. When I was referring to in that previous video, literally was talking about like something that happens once a year. So like the Halloween event. You only have access to the Halloween event in October when that goes live here in a week or two. So that is what I'm referring to, but I do want to clarify that Iron Banner is totally worth it if you love PvP as much as I do, and I hope I'll see you on the battlefield whether you're on my fire team or not. For this video, for this guide, hopefully these are some answers to your questions that are just burning in your minds. I hope you go check out New Light. Let us know if you do and what you think about it if you do. And if we can answer any more of your questions, please let us know in the comments below. We're here to help and hopefully help you enjoy your time with this game and any other pretty much MMORPG out there. We're looking at doing some more fun things here later this year, and we look forward to bringing them to the channel. Like we said, if you like this video, hit that like button. We hope you hit subscribe and join the workforce here. And I hope to hear from you. I'm looking forward to getting to know you and what kind of games you like to play. But for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next. But until then, take care.